Chris here for IFLtv, MTK Global, and with me I've got Mickey Helliett.
How you doing?
Welcome along.
Cheers for having us.
Mickey, can you tell me a wee bit more about how you got involved in Ireland's Last Man?
Yeah, I've been doing the matchmaking for Kaz, one of the promoters, for a while. I help him out, with opponents, things like that, and with his running his shows. He started talking about the project, and then when he asked me to be involved in it and the selection process, we didn't have to ask twice. I managed a couple of Irish fighters, good quality Irish fighters before, and one thing that really struck me when I was doing that, I realised very quickly that Ireland has a really good history of developing amateurs, boxers. They've got a great sort of heritage, if you like, of the guys that have won the Olympics and got medals in the Olympics, things like that. For example, Andrew Murray, who I managed in the pros, I realised very quickly there's a massive shortage of opportunities here for the fighters. And when Kaz was talking about this, I thought, that's exactly what Ireland needs. Actually, it's what boxing needs, because it's something that's going to get people watching it. Even someone that's not a boxing fan can watch the tournament format and fall in love with it very quickly, because there's a storyline. You can watch it all in one go, one bite-sized chunk, if you like. And the main sponsors that boxing, needs to attract is bookmaking, and the tournament format is perfect for that. They can all bet and works for the bookies. So I think it's when you look at the prize fighter in the UK that Matchroom did work very successfully for a long period, and I think we could probably see the same with this, hopefully.
You talked a lot about the advantages there. How big do you actually think this could be for Irish boxing and the Irish boxing scene on the whole?
I think it's massive. Because the problem seems to be in Ireland, lack of television. We've seen sporadic little bursts. RTE were covering when I was managing Andy, but it's a big problem, and it puts Irish fighters at a disadvantage, because when you go to negotiate a big fight, this guy's going to fight a guy from France. Well, French TV will chip in. What have we got from Ireland? We can chop that. It puts Irish fighters at a disadvantage because they haven't got that input from TV. But a tournament like this, if the viewers become affiliated then with the guys that are fighting in the tournaments, and the TV station then decides to follow them, well, then it puts them at a massive advantage. And the exposure that this is going to give them, it's going to really, really turn things around, I think, in Ireland. So it's a huge opportunity for the fighters, it's a huge opportunity for boxing in Ireland generally, to get, to have that sort of spotlight for a given amount of time. And I'm very, very pleased to be involved with it, I can say that. I didn't have to ask me twice, I was straight in.
Okay, in terms of it being a catchweight of in the round middleweight, who would you be hoping to see on the tournament of the active boxers, and who do you think out of those boxers would make it exciting?
Right, I'm involved in the selection process, so I'm not actually allowed to disclose any of that. I've actually chosen, if you like, I've purposely ignored anything from sort of welterweight up to light heavy. I've just shut it out. Anyone starts talking to me, I'm straight away, look, just send an email in with the details. And because I don't want to be swung, and I have a lot of friendships in Ireland, in boxing in Ireland, and I want to do the job right. I want to get it, as close to perfect as I can. So I don't want to be influenced by who I'm friends with, who I'm not. I'd say everyone, right, send an email in. At the end of it, the list is getting longer every day. The fighters that want to be in it. We've got fighters that haven't boxed for a while that want to come back. We've got guys that are sort of Irish but not, as far as I'm aware, been boxing in Ireland. They're like American Ireland. So we're just going to get the whole list. We'll go for everyone, and the fighters that fit the remit that the broadcaster gives us, that's who we'll be going with.
You're talking about the Irish scene of boxing, not just locally to the Isle, but across in America, across in the UK as well. But what do you make of Irish boxing in particular, the likes of Carl Frampton fighting away in America for a few years and now coming back to fight in Belfast under Frank Warren?
I think boxing seems like it's really buzzing here. Frampton, perfect example, a guy that sort of seems to bring everybody from all over Ireland, together and get behind him. I felt a bit sorry for him the other week because I thought he had a hard fight. I mean, I didn't think the knockdown was genuine. But you've got to understand, he's had one trainer from the start of his career, and this is his first fight with a new trainer. Of course, they're going to have teething problems. It's impossible for it to run smoothly. I actually thought the fact that the guy would come to fight, I thought that would play into his hands, because I thought, that guy's not really got the strength and the work rate to go with Carl. But Carl, you could see he was actually feeling his way into it. I mean, he looked very good early on. But then, he needs probably 2 or 3 fights with Jamie Moore, his new trainer, to get it right. And probably a big learning curve for them at the moment.
Well, we're looking at the emergence of Rambernat, 2-time world champion at the moment in Belfast. Yeah. Based in Manchester for a lot of his career, with Adam Booth as his coach. Do you see him being the successor to Frampton in terms of taking the mantle of Irish boxing to the next level?
Yeah, I was working with Ricky Hatton when he was with Ryan. I mean, immediately I saw him, I thought, wow, that one. Of the whole group, there was a load of them, all good kids. He's special. He's one of them kids, he's now with Adam, he was with Rick. I think whoever, even if he trained himself now, you can see he is a special kid. I'm not advising him to train himself, I'm just saying he's like one of them boxers that he's just got so many qualities. I think it would take a very, very bad trainer to derail what he does. I mean, he really is a top. I still call him a prospect at the moment because on the way up, he's improving, he's getting better. But I think, he's probably the front runner, if you like, for who's going to be the next standard bearer when Carl sort of eventually moves on.
Talking about Manchester once again, another boxer based over there is Tyson Fury. What is your view upon Tyson getting back into the ring, and do you think he will be as good as what he was previous?
Do you know what? It will depend how well he readjusts, because we keep seeing these pictures of him. He's massively. Do you know what? Little fact for you, interesting fact. I made his first ever pro fight, Tyson Fury. I actually got slaughtered for it because it was a mismatch. But the thing is, we needed him to win and look good, and if he hadn't have done, it would have sort of reflected badly on me. So we brought a guy in. Tyson absolutely smashed him in a round, and I think now, okay, back to your question. Me personally, as a boxing manager who likes to develop boxers and get them right, from that just purely boxing point of view, I would like him to have 2 or 3 run-outs before he goes into anything like massive, like an AJ fight or Wilder or whoever would be like the kingpin at that time. Knowing boxing as it is, the boxers have to eventually take a choice between that route or that route, and when that route is 20 times the money of that route, quite often they want to go that way because of the rough ride he's had with, I don't need to go into it, but the different sort of problems that he's had the last couple of years. I'm not a believer that people can just like take years out, get out of shape and come right back in at top level. And I'd hate it if he lost a fight and everyone was sort of afterwards, he could have won that, but he took it too early. So look, up to him, he's his own man. They'll do. He's got good people around him. I'm sure they'll make sure.
Do you believe that David Price would be a good step-in opponent to lead to that stepping stone of a world title once again?
I think so. I mean, David Price can punch. That's a risk, but look, he's right at the time. I mean, you've got to say David Price. He's been exposed several times. He's probably at the tail. I mean, his confidence must be destroyed by what he's been through. So he would fit the remit from that. The only thing is he can punch. He can definitely punch, and that's a risk. But heavyweight boxing, they can all bang a little bit.
Your views on the fight of David Haye and Tony Bellew being cancelled due to muscle tear?
My view of it, well, if he's injured, he can't fight. That's it. I mean, I think David is difficult because he again probably now. Definitely at the tail end of his career. It's about money. He will want to earn. He'll be devastated at that. I mean, that's a terrible disappointment to Bellew as well. But Bellew can go on and earn. David, what's he going to do now? I mean, I guess he has to decide is I think if he does box, is he going to be able to go through a whole training camp and do 12 rounds without getting injured? Yeah, I mean, you'd say probably on the form book, unlikely that he can. The thing is, I would imagine financially, from a business point of view, that's very appealing to go on. So I fully expect him to fight again. I think that people want to see him fight Bellew, and they'll want to see it go on. But I mean, I would heavily favour Bellew. I thought Bellew looked like he was boxing at a more comfortable pace throughout the first time, and then when he upped it, Haye seemed to come apart. So in a rematch, there'd be even more wear and tear on Haye and his joints and shoulders and elbows and everything now, and I think I'd favour Bellew even more to beat him the second time around.
We've got Gary Spike O'Sullivan in the building today. How do you see his fight going?
Sorry, what you said?
Gary Spike O'Sullivan.
Oh yeah, okay, my old friend Spike, yeah.
We've got Gary fighting over in Laval in Quebec as a chief support to the Billy Joe Saunders and David Lumineau fight. How do you think that will go?
Who's he boxing?
Yeah, Gary will be up against Antoine Douglas, an upcoming American who's just been currently signed to Golden Boy Promotions.
Okay. Yeah, well, he's got a very live chance there. I mean, nice guy actually. He was meant to box. I managed a guy, I can't remember his name, was an African chap. And the fight got pulled literally like 24 hours before it was going to be in Cork. So then that's when I really took an interest in Spike. He needs to go have a big fight away, take the chance, get a win, and then get a big payday, because he's been sort of hovering around the top end of the ratings for a long time. And yeah, I'd need to really look at that. I mean, that's a tough ask going away from home. But listen, let him roll the dice, and I hope it works out for him. He's a lovely guy. Deserves to have a bit of good luck.
Okay, Mickey, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you, my friend. Cheers guys.